5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Black, stop playing with it.
Welcome to the No Mistakes podcast. In life, there are no mistakes, just life lessons. And between the two of us, we got a whole lot of them.
A lot.
I'm your host, Let JBJ.
I'm Shakir B.
And welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome.
All right, guys, we're very excited. All right. Today marks the beginning of season 2 of the No Mistakes podcast. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. We want to thank you guys for subscribing and the support. Thank you for the follows on social. We love you. This year, we promise to bring more engaging content, more laughs, more insight, more in-depth insights, and just a lot more of everything, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be diving into it this year.
We're gonna be getting
really
into it this year. That's
we
right.
got some amazing people coming on the show.
Right.
Plethora of topics.
Yes.
And it's gonna be some crazy moments because I got some of my fellas coming up here.
Okay, it's gonna be good.
It's
And
gonna
you
be
guys already know how Shakir get down, so
Yeah.
you know he brings the heat.
I'm bringing the fellas out.
He brings the
This
heat.
season we'll be talking to some men today, get their perspective.
Yes,
So
definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it.
Yo, we starting off with a banger.
We starting off our first episode with
Starting
a
off with a banger. We got a young lady in here that's about her business. So
That's right.
You've been tasked with the intro.
Okay,
Don't mess it up.
I got you.
Go ahead.
All right. So we have a very, very, very special guest. All right, today. She's a boss. She's a personal friend of mine. I've known her for many years. We used to work together, and she has definitely shown her stain for business life. All right. She's a mother. She's an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, a go-getter, and just an all-around dope person. All right. Welcome to the show, my friend, Ms. Malika Stephenson. Hey.
Malika's in the house.
All right. So, guys, Malika is a business owner. She owns a trucking company. All right.
That's
Logistics trucking company.
Mhm.
Female. All right. That's number 1. Who got the count? All right. Number 2, she owns a health and wellness spa.
There we go.
All right. That's
Second
number
one.
2. Number 3, she dabbles in real estate. She has a budgeting, a flourishing, just starting off, but she has a real estate business. She does
Yes.
Airbnbs.
Yes.
All right. So Malika is an all-around well-rounded woman. And we wanted to get her insight on, her life journey, her life perspective, and all the things that she's getting into and all the wonderful things that she's accomplished. So one more time, welcome. Malika.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I am doing well. How are you guys?
We doing good, man.
All right.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Lovely
Absolutely.
studio.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yes,
We
love it.
appreciate it.
So we got a lot of places we could start.
a lot.
Okay.
So where we start with Malika?
All
man?
right, so a little background. Malika and I used to work for the same company.
Okay.
All right, and Malika has, and we no longer work there. All right,
Hi.
we ditched that.
She got out the corporate life.
Yes,
Louis
yes,
ditched it,
yes.
yep.
And she's doing a lot better than me. I will say that. All right, so we're gonna touch on that. All right,
Okay.
so one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, what made you what was the deciding factor to go into business on your own, to leave that corporate life? What was that decision like? What caused that?
Stress and anxiety.
Mm. And those are
Corporate
two
America
big-
would do that to you.
Oh, yeah.
Stress and anxiety
Yes.
is what allowed me to jump out there on faith
Mhm.
and
Okay.
and either swim or sink.
Sink or
Right.
swim.
And I decided to swim, and I think I'm swimming
Oh, you doing
pretty
that.
well now.
Backstroking
Yeah,
that
you
joint, man.
for real. For
You
real.
backstroking that. That's what's up.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
But yes, stress and anxiety definitely
Yeah.
was the deciding factor.
Mhm.
And leaving corporate America, I jumped right into transportation and logistics.
Okay. All right. So that was
And
the first entrepreneurial
Nice.
journey was the
trucking
logistics
company.
and the
Yes.
trucking.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So like how was that getting into, because trucking is usually like
a male-dominated
a
space,
It is.
right?
It
So
is.
I'm curious to learn or hear about your journey through that.
Okay. So I end up getting into the transportation and logistics industry. I was talking to this guy, and
Always a guy in the
yeah, it was,
mix.
it was a guy, and at the time he had 2 tractor trailers,
Okay.
and he asked me to help run like his back office operations because I am, I'm pretty operationally sound. So I said okay. Decided to help him while I was on leave from my corporate job,
Nice.
and I saw that there was a lot of opportunity from an operational standpoint. And then digging a little more and doing more research on transportation and logistics, I'm like, oh, this is truly a male dominating industry.
Okay.
On top of the individual that I was dating at the time, he kind of saw like my movement, and he's like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. It was a lot of push. Yeah, a lot of pushback. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't drive trucks. You're not in trucking. And I let him know. I said, I'm a businesswoman first. So regardless to whatever industry I get into, I'm going to excel.
Exactly.
I understand business.
Dope.
So he sort of pushed me in that direction, like, telling me, no, you're not going to be able to do it. You don't know what you're doing. You've never been in transportation and logistics. So I said, okay,
I'm gonna show you.
I'm going to show you. And that's exactly what I did. Yeah. So, I did use him as leverage, which he knew because he did teach me the game. But at that point, that's when I decided to branch off on my own and created the transportation and logistics company.
So branching off on your own, what are some of the hurdles that you kind of had to get through being a woman in a male-dominated space? I'm pretty sure there was some roadblocks. What were some of those?
Understanding what I was doing and what the industry consisted of.
Okay.
And I guess that's more around just process. It's heavily regulated by Department of Transportation, so understanding the rules and regulations.
Okay.
That was number 1. Then number 2, understanding the driver and the needs of the drivers, because if you don't have drivers, you don't have a business.
Of course.
Exactly. So you definitely need to understand the dynamics of the individuals who are driving.
Gotcha.
And when I got into it in 2018 into 2019, it was challenging because a lot of the guys were older, and then some were not of African American descent, so they did not want to necessarily take direction from a younger Black woman in the industry.
Gotcha.
So just a little pushback. But once they saw like, okay, she knows what she's talking about, she knows what she's doing. And just from a business standpoint, customer service, sales, marketing, finance, insurance, understanding just how the operation worked from the back end for all businesses, they said, oh, okay, she knows what she's doing. So we're going to follow her. Exactly. Yeah. So it was a little pushback, but definitely rewarding.
That's good.
Because I've learned a lot.
So to understand the perspective of the driver, did you get your CDL? Did you move into that?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So I did not have to get my CDLs. I don't have my CDLs. I don't plan on getting them.
Listen,
But
you sound like it's working. You don't need
I was
it.
going to say that speaks to the innovation of somebody who can run a transportation trucking company and not necessarily have to have their CDL.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? As long as you can understand, like you said, understand what the drivers need.
Exactly.
You understand the insurance.
That's
you understand the laws. You can run a trucking company.
How to manage loads and things like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Being a woman on top of that definitely added probably like an extra layer of complexity.
Yeah.
It did. People not respecting you.
Absolutely. I remember the first it's called the METS show. So basically it's a international truck show that happens in, I want to say we were in Kentucky. Don't quote me, but one of the states. And I think we're in Louisiana.
Okay.
So let me tell you something. The remarks from some and a lot.
I know. Trust me, I know. I lived in Louisiana before.
Just the companies like, oh, well, are you a receptionist? Asking me, and I'm like, what do you mean receptionist? I have 7 trucks.
Nice.
I have 7 trucks, tractor trailer combos and box trucks.
Wow.
I have contracts.
Dope.
You know,
Yeah.
so it was interesting.
That's what's
But
up.
you know, you remain humble and you
Yeah.
say
You know what I
what
like?
it
You know what I
is.
like about your story already?
What?
It sounds like it all came from someone being like, "You don't know what you're doing." You was like, "Okay, I'm gonna show you,"
It
and now here
did.
you are
What's up?
today.
That's
It
exactly
did.
what
That's
it
the
was.
Scorpio in
Yeah.
me. It
Okay.
is.
Okay. Now we know
Scorpio in
you
me.
Scorpio.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
what's up.
It's the
That's what's up.
Scorpio in me.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yep,
That's
that's
dope.
exactly where it came from. And again, just shaking up the paradigm a little bit.
Mhm.
It was really, and it still is truly a male dominating industry. So
Right.
you have to step in your power and
For sure.
say, you know, I'm not playing. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to do the job.
Mhm.
You know, and that's that. I'm friendly. I'm not your friend. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
You know,
I
so
think that it is a male dominated industry, but I
mhm.
do see a lot more women getting
Yes,
into
Getting
trucking,
into
yes,
whether it's
absolutely.
back office, running their own business,
Yep.
or getting in the truck and actually driving the
Yeah.
trucks. It's
Mhm.
not abnormal to see a woman behind
Actually,
the wheel of an 18-wheeler anymore.
yeah, I got
Exactly.
a family member of mine that actually she got her CDLs and
Yes.
she's doing long hauls
Yep.
cross country,
Yep.
big rig trailers, and
Yep.
she's a she's a black woman and
Nice.
she's out there doing it every day. I say to myself, man, I don't know if it could be me. I just don't know. Yeah, I like the suits and stuff,
Right,
but
right.
just being in the truck, going cross country for 18 hours,
It's
48
a lot.
hours, it's a lot, man.
Mhm.
I
It's
think
a
I could
lot.
do it.
You think so?
I think I could do it.
Yeah, man.
I went on a road trip once from Louisiana to Washington State, and I loved
Uh-huh.
it.
Did you?
Loved it. Yeah.
How
Yeah,
long
man.
did that take?
I was in the military at the time.
Oh,
And I got orders to go from Louisiana to Washington State.
okay.
And they gave us, I actually went with a friend of mine,
Okay.
and they gave us 7 days to do it.
Okay.
And they gave us like a couple thousand
Okay.
for, road trip money. We could have did it in like 2.5, but I was like, we're going to use all these 7 days. We're going to stop here. We're going to try to get some honeys over here. We're trying to go over there.
Big
So we were
facts.
stopping everywhere along the way, but we had
Right.
a great time. So I like the long road trips. I think I
Okay.
probably could have been a trucker.
Can't do it, man. I think the furthest I drove was from Jersey to Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
That's South Carolina, right?
yeah.
That's the furthest. I'll never do it
That's
again.
hard.
Put me on the plane. Even the plane ride, you got me 4 hours max.
No, seriously.
4 hours max. Anything more than
Seriously.
that, I start twitching and like, yo, get me out of this plane. But that's dope. That's dope. So Malika is I like to call. She gets mad at me, but I be like, yo, Malika's a boss, man.
Oh, for sure.
I love it.
For sure.
So,
So have you kind of helped like other women or mentor other women to kind of get into the space as well, or not quite yet?
I
Is that
have.
something you plan on doing? In the
I
future?
have. I've definitely mentored other women and men.
Okay.
At one point, I was told that I was giving out $1 million information for free.
I can understand that.
Yeah, and I did because I felt like, our people just as a whole, we don't have the same opportunities as other nationalities.
facts.
So my thing is, if I can help you and it costs me little to nothing,
Mhm.
why not give you the tidbits of information?
You know what? You know what I learned about that, man? You sow back into yourself at the end of the day.
Yes.
For sure.
You may be giving free information out to somebody,
Yep.
but you're helping them,
Absolutely.
and that only can
That's
come
right.
back around
That's
and,
right.
and bless you later on. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So I think that's dope that that you didn't mind doing that. 'Cause
Exactly.
there's ways to make money, right? You can sell
Exactly.
information. Now information is for sale everywhere, but
Everywhere.
information is free too, right?
Absolutely.
So why not get some good mojo, some good blessings
Exactly.
while you're doing it?
Yep. No,
That's
I
how I
agree.
look at it.
True.
So like I get people coming to me all the time, like, hey, they ask me real estate questions all the time, and I could be like, you want to hire me?
You
first?
gotta pay me.
Yeah, right. I can do that. But
I
sometimes
pay
it's just a matter of you put that good information out, you put that good energy out, it comes back to you tenfold, and I've always every year I sold a home. It's not one year that I've gone and haven't sold a home, so I'm not losing anything.
Right.
If anything, I'm gaining more by helping out.
Absolutely.
So you keep doing that.
Thank you.
You do have, and speaking of that, it's a good segue, by the way. You do have a women's empowerment brunch that you host as well, right?
So I did.
Let's hear about it. Let's hear about
All
it.
right, let's talk about that.
So I am known, and Jimmy knows, I'm known as like the event planner. So I like to have events. I like to get people together and, have a good time, congregate, eat. And a lot of times my sisters and I, or my girlfriends and I, we would get together at lunch or brunch, happy hour. So I'm like, you know what? I want to put something else together on a grander scheme. and I wanted to be around empowering women and just networking.
Okay.
And that's exactly what it was. So the very first one was in 2017, and it was called Hats Off to Women, and I just again wanted to take our
like
take
that.
the hats off to women of all nationalities, career things of that nature. And we had a really good time, and it was such great feedback where everybody was like, "When is it going to be again?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to be mad when I see the post.
I
I'm
know
like,
you did.
how
The
come I
guys,
didn't get an invite?
the
And
guy, the
then I
guys
look
were
into
very
it,
upset.
and so it was all women saying, I'm like, oh, all right, all right. I used to get upset. Like, where's my invitation?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. The same year, 6 months later, we had another, but that one we called Pretty in Pearls. And that basically again, just acknowledging women of all walks of life and experiences, and just to say, listen, we're here. It's a sisterhood. Let's share our knowledge, our information. It doesn't matter if you're a student, a receptionist, a CEO. We're all here to share knowledge and information. So the second one was great, but it was a lot because it was 6 months after the first one. I'm like, this has to be on an annual basis.
I was gonna ask.
Yes. So that was 17. So 17 we had two. Then 2018 we had the third, and then 2019 we had the fourth. We were gonna have our fifth, and COVID hit. Yeah. So we never, continued, but that's something that I'm open to doing because I have been asked, and I've also been asked about the men's empowerment brunch. So
Listen,
hopefully
we have to set it up.
you guys
we gotta
ready.
collab on that. We gotta
We're gonna have
collab
to set
on
it
that.
up. For sure.
Yes,
Yeah, me and
exactly.
Shakira show out, man.
Yes.
Put something together.
That'd
with
be
you.
amazing.
Yeah,
Got a
that'd
whole
be
group of
dope.
fellas that'll
Okay.
definitely come out for that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But you know where I'm gonna tip my hat to you and women alike.
Right.
Women are so good at organizing things like that.
Mm.
Right? Like I got a whole group of guys, and like we can't even get like a day doing golf. Like, and y'all be doing empowerment movements and brunches where you get to talk to other women. And I'm like,
Yes.
But you know what? That's
Yo,
why
we can
they
do that.
that's why they kicking our ass too,
Yeah, there you
bro.
go.
Like in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I read a real estate stat the other day, and it said single women are now the most they're the most homeowners in the United States. Single
I saw
women,
that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when girls get together, and nobody's being catty
Exactly.
and doing everything the right way, they
Share
They
information,
excel.
network, and build.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
So-
I think sometimes with fellas, I mean, this is true with women as well, because sometimes women can get catty, and
Exactly.
jealous. But I think guys too, like sometimes we so worried about competition and who's doing better,
Right.
and who's
Yeah,
gonna
for
look
sure.
better,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I mean? That it's hard for us to get together to do something like that.
True.
You know what I mean? But I'm glad we spoke about it, because I think this year, man,
We got to step into that.
we gotta step
You
into
have
that.
to.
We gotta step into that.
You guys have
We
to.
gotta step into that.
And look who's bringing the idea to us.
Yeah, a woman.
A boss.
A boss. But like life is about collaboration.
It
sometimes,
is.
man. Networking is the key to success everywhere, no matter what field
Exactly.
the industry in. So shit, if it takes Malika to get us the
Get the
ball
ball
rolling,
rolling, right?
why not?
We gotta get the ball rolling.
I like it.
What's up?
I like that a lot.
So you also have a health and wellness spa that I
Yes.
was lucky enough to get an invitation to
Yes, you
check
were.
out the grand opening, and it's beautiful. All right, and I thought it was dope. You're right there in Bridgewater.
Yes.
Nice.
All right, and your services include a plethora of things. So
Yes.
so talk about how you got into that,
Okay.
and what kind of services you guys offer.
Okay. So I've been in health and wellness for a while.
Mhm.
Probably.
She used to come to work with like quinoa and quinoa, and what else do you do? Like
Chickpea
salad. She come by my desk with chickpea salad. I'm like, Malika, what is that? But yo, this is the healthy.
Gotta take care of
the
your
healthy
body.
lifestyle. You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was doing it for a while. Like
Mhm.
like I said, I have been in health and wellness for a minute, probably since the early 2000s.
Okay.
And what allowed me to get into health and wellness was I was 28 and working as a regional manager for Raymore and Flanagan Furniture. And I was stressed, just, everyday life, a single parent at the moment, just a lot. And I went to the doctor, and she was like, your blood pressure is a little elevated. And if it continues to be elevated, we're going to put you on blood pressure medication. And I'm like, I'm not going to get no blood pressure. 28, yeah.
Definitely don't want that.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. She said, well, if you don't change your lifestyle, and at the time I'm eating McDonald's French fries. Yeah, I know.
Not the
28.
McDonald's.
I was eating it. And I realized that I had to change something. So as I learn more about, health and wellness and holistic wellness and naturopathic doctors and things of that nature, and just learning more about the herbs and how they heal, as well as food, I took advantage of learning more about someone called Dr. Sebi.
Yep.
So Dr. Sebi, and I never forget, in 2009, I completely transitioned over into veganism.
Nice.
And I want to say that was probably one of the best lifestyles that I had ever. Wow. Where I saw the most improvement. So at that point, I just kind of continued to do more research. And recently I became a certified holistic nutritionist. Nice. Just taking it more into like
another title. Malika.
Wow.
So at that point, like I said, I had collaborated with Zakia. You met Zakia at the spa, and she's a registered nurse. She administers at the clinic, or not the clinic, but the spa. She administers the IV hydration. So that's like vitamin therapy where you get it intravenously.
Gotcha.
She also does like the B12 shots, vitamin D with labs. And then I'm there as the holistic nutritionist. Nice. So I help individuals who have challenges with their health or just their diet or just lifestyle in general. And, I share my expertise.
So are you like writing out a whole like meal plan to kind of help? Nice.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to buy one from you.
Yeah.
I'd be needing it.
Yes.
I've been trying to get away. Well, so I stopped eating fast food when I was like 24, 25.
Okay, nice.
My daughter loves Chipotle. We'll do Chipotle. Okay. Whatever. But she knows not to ask me about McDonald's, Burger. We're not going.
Got it.
The past couple of years, I've been slowly moving away from meat.
Okay.
So every meal I eat is not like chicken, and I don't eat beef at all. I just stay away from it. Okay. But it's hard, man. It's hard.
It's challenging.
It's hard.
I'm like, it's challenging. I know you're definitely a meat eater.
Yeah.
But here's the thing for me. Now this is the thing I have to try to, because I'm 41 now, right? 41, 2 daughters. My oldest is 14. My youngest is 9. I'm trying to be around for a while, right?
Of course, yeah.
But me trying to be around for them and live a healthy lifestyle, but also stay in the gym and make sure that I can cut weight, but also have protein. It's hard to find that right balance of what you can and shouldn't eat. But forever I'm hearing like red meat is just not good for you, right? So, I try to do a little bit more chicken and salmon and fish, but sometimes you just like, man, I just can't do this.
Yeah. Well, why can't you do it?
I think it's just what you're kind of like used to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
For so many years to now want to, at 41, try to do a lifestyle change is a little difficult. So when you get a client like me that walk through the door, right, that's, now I'm in the gym, right?
Right.
The gym.
You are.
I'm losing the gut's still there, right? But somebody like me who walks into the spa and says, hey, help me build the protein, gain protein, but not eat the bad stuff that has the protein in it, like red meat.
Okay, the red meat. Okay.
So what's your suggestion for somebody like myself? Like, what would you tell me to do?
So the first thing that I advise clients is to, rethink your relationship with food. Like you need to relearn what you learned about food, because it's all wrong. So you start there. Once you start there, I tell people don't dive into it, because you will backslide.
Yeah.
So it's baby steps. So if you're eating, let's just say steak or beef, and then you have pork, chicken, fish, turkey. Well, which one of all 5 or 4 are you willing to eliminate first? That's the limitation. Yeah, exactly. So if it's pork, you remove pork, and then you still continue on with your beef, your turkey, your fish, your chicken. And then, the following week, maybe take it a step further, and instead of you eating meat 7 days, you may eat it 5, or you may eat it 6. So it's process of elimination, and just doing it incrementally.
Gradual steps.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
sounds like that's the key to the healthy living lifestyle.
Exactly.
Gradual steps.
Because when you jump in it, you're like,
yeah, man.
I digress.
And that'd be my
I messed up.
I'd be so ready to see results right away that I jump in it right away, and then I just wind up going right back.
But that's where people get it messed up, because my thing is, when you got into real estate, the first person that you spoke to, I'm sure you didn't just close them, did you? Right. So it's a process, and
way of putting it.
Yeah, right. So it's a process, and I feel like you have to give yourself grace, because a lot of times people mess up, you know, and messing up, maybe, you know what, I went and I had a large fry from McDonald's, and I shouldn't have. I haven't had McDonald's in years.
I'm proud of you.
But, you know, you have to still give yourself grace, and you have to clap for yourself when you do the things right.
True.
And then anything that you can work on or need improvement on, then, you know, you work towards those steps. But give yourself grace is the main thing when you're trying to transition.
I think also one of the things you said is it's kind of like you don't know how, right? And I think that, and it's also an investment too. Like eating healthy is very expensive, but I think that, you know, people like you, where you come in, I don't think people want to take the time to relearn or readjust their relationship with food and spend the money to sit with people like Malika to kind of get that education that at 30 years old, you think what's healthy is healthy, and it's really not.
Exactly.
You know, so I think sometimes I'm just kind of like, is this healthy? And I be trying to like, I just go for the safe thing. I go for apple. I'll go for a piece of fruit or something like that, and I'll just have like a crazy appetite to where like by the time I get home from work, I'm like, I'm just gonna have a protein shake. And maybe that might not even be the healthiest thing for me, but it's better than just going to grab something real quick that's completely like not healthy for me. So I think spending the money to relearn your relationship with food is extremely important.
And then even if you don't have the money, there's so many resources online.
Listen, YouTube University is
it's so much.
It's free, and it's all wealth. Man, you know how many things I did in my house off of YouTube? Like recessed lights. I built the deck in my backyard.
Yeah, same.
All YouTube. Two hands on YouTube. So
I guess the caveat though with that is so much information out there where you may not know where to start. You know, because you have articles and professors that say, oh, you know what, yes, meat is good for you. And then you have the clinical trials and studies and, you know, things of that nature. And they're like, no, here's the proof. It's not good.
Exactly.
You know, but you still have that person that says, well, Dr. Oz said,
so
you know,
or the FDA said.
Or the FDA said, exactly.
I'm like, all right, I'm about to try this intermittent fasting. So I started Googling intermittent fasting schedules, right? Oh, so I'm doing the 16-8 right now. Today I'm like, you know what else can I do to kind of like, you know, help me with that 16-8?
Right.
16 hours of no eating, 8 hours window that you can eat.
Okay.
And while I'm Googling, pops up an article, 91% increase in heart disease or heart attacks when you do intermittent fasting.
Oh, man.
But then you got a whole list of other websites like, yo, this is the way to go if you're trying to. I'm like, man, this is just
that's the headline, and it's meant to confuse you.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to then do your due diligence, and then again, someone that does not have the money, you have to then do further research. Well, are they talking about the individuals that intermittent fast, and then from that, you know, 1 to 8 hour that they're eating red meat? Yeah, like what are you eating? What does it look like? So it's different questions that people have to start asking instead of just reading and running.
True.
You know, and that's what happens. People read and run and not really do the research. So if you look online, all the health and wellness enthusiasts, everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody has the same answer. Everybody's selling the same supplements. But, you know, all three of us in this room, we're individuals. So we may all have the same symptoms. We may even have all of the same diagnosis, but your treatment plan is going to look different from mine and his.
Yeah.
So when you see somebody saying, oh, buy this cleanse, you know, it's going to cleanse you and it's for the general public, well, you're going to have to, you know, question that. Is that really for me? You know, do you have food sensitivities, allergies?
Right. So that's a good point you make. How do you assess what works for one person versus another?
Their history.
Okay.
Yep, their history, and then understanding a lot of times the bottom line, which would be their medical history.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I think my mom is not I think, but my mom she's diabetic,
Okay.
and I think at one point her sugar levels are really high.
Okay.
It's like give her the medications and things like that, and then she changed her diet. Right? What is it that they measure?
The A1C.
Came down
Mm-hmm.
to where she didn't need the medication
Exactly.
anymore. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
the diet is where it's at.
The
Right.
diet,
Is where
and
it's
that's the people are so afraid of diet. That's why I don't call it diet. I call it nutrition.
Nutrition. Okay.
So again, just change it. It's wordplay.
That's a pro move right
Yeah,
there.
there you
bro.
go.
That's a pro move.
No, it's definitely nutrition, because when you lack nutrition, your body starts to throw off signals and say, "Hey, something's going on."
But the diet is true in any case as you look at it, because you could be in the gym like me, like 3, 4, 5 days a
Yeah.
week, and if you're not eating right, it
That's
don't matter.
right.
It
Yeah.
don't matter
It
what you're
doesn't
doing.
matter. That's right.
You know what? Something that just clicked in my mind. It sometimes when you say diet, it sounds like restriction,
Exactly.
and when you say nutrition, it sounds like you're doing something for your body to be healthy.
Exactly.
So I think words matter in
It
educating
does.
people. Of course,
Wordplay for sure.
Definitely.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh man, so I know you said you didn't really want to go into it, but you dabbling into a little bit of Airbnbs
Yes.
and doing that.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
how's that? You don't have to go into too much detail.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you getting into that.
You got it
used
off the
to-
ground.
I did.
got
So
it.
that's-
Let's talk
Yes.
about that. You don't have to go into too much detail.
Okay.
But-
So basically, it's a property that we purchased in Pennsylvania, in the Poconos area.
Beautiful.
It's,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Mhm.
Got a really good deal on it,
Mhm.
and we are in the rehab phase.
Nice.
So you
a
guys
lot
know
going
about
on.
rehab,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's giving me extreme anxiety.
Uh-huh.
But once the property is done,
Your ARV's looking
the
good.
ARV is looking amazing.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, but not just on top of that, we have the potential to make, a nice profit,
Nice.
if you will, from the Airbnb.
Stream of income.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
That's good. That's good.
So that's exciting. But yeah, so we'll see how it
All
works
right,
out.
Much luck to you.
Yes,
All
thank you
right.
so much.
Are you you said we, so are you partnering with like your business partners?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So I have a team that I partner with on this
Nice.
particular program,
Okay.
but on this particular project.
Yeah.
And we'll see. It's a little difficult because you have different opinions.
Yup.
Of course.
You
It's
know,
always like
different
that.
views
It's always
and
like that.
So what's your niche? So when I did my projects, I discovered, and I'm a gangster, right? So don't take
Okay.
nothing away from me.
No, of course not.
You know what I discovered?
What did you
I
say?
like redesigning spaces, and I'm very
Okay.
good at it.
Okay.
Right? I'm taking out this wall, putting a window here. I love to redesign spaces. So
Okay.
that's my niche
Okay.
in a project. So what's your
Okay.
niche in a project?
The finances.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the biggest niche.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest niche.
Because you can't be good at everything,
I know
right? You
that-
need a team.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
finances, because I need to see the bottom line. I need to see the vision. I need to see how much it's going to cost, and I need to
course.
see if it's in line with, what's allotted to the project. And a lot of times, you go into these projects, and this is not my first rodeo with buying and selling. It's like, why are we spending, 15-20% over the budget?
Right.
Got you.
So then it starts cutting into other things. So I'm the money person.
Okay.
What's up?
Yeah.
That's what's up. You listen, every team needs that.
Yeah, man.
And most people are like, you're a woman, you don't like to decorate, and you don't like to. I'm like, I don't like to do any of that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's so-
I don't like doing it.
That's what's up. So me being in real estate, and I'm always out on the road.
Mm.
I have several businesses, right? And I have 2 daughters,
Yep.
right? So my youngest daughter, Gabby, she likes to shadow me pretty much everything, everywhere,
Okay.
no matter what it is,
Okay.
right? So when I'm packaging my products to ship off, shout out to Tessier Collection. When I'm shameless plug, but when I'm packaging my products, she wants to be down there and she wants to help me package.
I know that's
She
right.
helped me package, she helped me label,
Right.
she's printing stuff out,
Right.
and she's excited about it,
Mm.
right? And when I have to go show a house, a few times I've been able, super unprofessional, but I've been able to bring her with me.
Nice.
And I brought my oldest daughter
Yeah.
with me too. She's seeing what daddy does.
Right.
And it definitely gives you like a sense of pride, you know what I
Yes.
mean? To
Showing
show
them the
kids,
game.
like, what you're
Absolutely.
doing, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I know you have a daughter.
Yes.
Your daughter's 22
She's
now.
22.
Nice.
All right, and you had her early on in your life,
I
right?
did.
So what's that relationship like when your daughter sees mom moving around the way she's doing, handling business the way
Like a
she's
boss.
doing, like a boss, you know? She got to be super proud of you.
She's definitely proud.
Mhm.
I think she's also inspired for sure. And now have become more motivated and driven.
Nice.
And she says, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur.
That's what's up.
There you go. Why
Yeah.
not?
So, and I'm like, so what you gonna do? She's like, I haven't figured that part out yet, but I'm gonna be an entrepreneur.
But the fire is lit. So.
Yes, absolutely. And she has the, the backing, the
That's good.
support.
That's good. I seen
Yeah.
her, helping out at the
Yes,
grand opening at the
right?
spa,
So
making sure
proud of her.
everybody was okay.
Yes,
Hey,
yes,
do you
yes.
need this? You good?
I
So,
know.
yeah, that's what's up, man.
You have to remind her sometimes because she's 22,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I'm still your mother. Okay.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm
I
still your
mean,
mom.
y'all pretty much, y'all
We grew up together. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind,
Yeah.
like how was that? The motherhood where you kind of had to like do things for yourself, survive for yourself, and still have to take care of, the
That
baby.
that's a great question.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
From when she was born till about 3.5, 4 when my mother passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
Yep, thank you. It was relatively easy. I was in college. I worked a full-time job. I nursed until she was 1. I had my mother, I had her father, and I had her grandmother, which is her father's mother. And the first 3.5 years, it was easy. Then a monkey wrench came.
Right.
The monkey wrench was my mother passed away. Her father was sentenced to 3 years, all in the same year. At the time I had a 16-year-old sister, so I had to take care of my daughter who was turning 4. Also take care of my sister, make sure she graduated. And I was recently promoted to the client services manager in Raymore and Flanagan, or at Raymore and Flanagan. So I basically oversaw the region. At 23.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was tough. It was hard. I went from managing 0 people to 23 people at Raymore and Flanagan.
Wow.
And I think the hardest part of it was the time aspect. And it was challenging. And at that point, I advanced in my career, but I also don't feel like I lost a lot of time with my daughter.
Of
So I was
course.
getting
I can understand
stuff
that.
done. But I had to do what I had to do.
Yep.
So, but again, it was all worth it. Because, I have a wonderful child. I obviously gained a lot of experience from the careers that I've had. And I feel like God lined my steps up the way it was supposed to be aligned.
Of course. That's,
And just being able to be in, customer support and, sales support. I was in retail banking. I did insurance. So now any business that I get into, I have all aspects of everything that you need to run a
That
business.
experience was valuable for you.
Absolutely.
amazing.
All the different roles, all the things you
Absolutely.
did just kind of helped you prepare for where you're at right
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes you hear stories like yours, and I gotta just tip my hat off to you and women like you, because
Thank you.
I have 3 sisters. 2 of them have children. My oldest sister raised 4 on her own, and I have 1. Right, and her mom and I have a great relationship. We have 50-50 most of the time. But even with like that 50% of the time having, I'd be like, I need a break.
Yeah.
But you done built businesses, you've taken care of other people, all while being a mom. And I've also watched my oldest sister and one of my other sisters kind of do the same thing, like be mom, be career woman, be this, be that.
Yes.
And it's just kind of like, how? Sometimes just like, how?
Yeah.
So you just gotta just, tip my hat to you, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot, and I think the biggest thing is endurance.
Yeah.
People
sure.
say, I pray for whatever they pray for. And I say, I always thank God first, but then my prayer is always to give me an endurance. And, what sets us apart from someone who may be homeless or someone who may be, a little less fortunate is that endurance. Like you have to have the endurance in order to get out there and play.
Ooh, that's
right. That
that's
is
spot
Whole
on.
word.
Let me. I'm trying to tell you that endurance is necessary. That's what keeps the haves from the have-nots.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
think
real right there.
that is real because
Right.
even with my daughter, sometimes I question myself as a dad,
mhm,
and everyone who knows me as that, like, oh, you're a great dad,
mhm.
right? And then sometimes I'm like, am I doing enough? Am I
Right.
doing this right? Am
Right.
I? And that endurance to just
Mhm.
keep
Keep
going,
going.
keep going is
Mhm.
just is that's major.
It's
You
key,
gotta have
man.
that
You
endurance.
have to.
You
You have
do.
to. And then you start getting to an age where your kids are old enough to notice that, daddy's, always busy. Like,
Yeah.
That's right.
daddy's always busy. Daddy's always busy. And I had to tell my daughter the other day, I said, babe, I have to, you see what I do, right? She was
Mhm.
like, yeah. I said, you want to go this place and you want to go here and you want to
Mhm.
go there. Like she took me to the mall and she ran my pocket down. Right? She ran my pocket down, and I had to stop her. Like, hey, listen, we don't spend X amount over here
Right.
and X amount here. I said,
Right.
money don't grow on trees. She said,
No.
I know that. I was like, this is why I'm always running out and
Mhm.
doing what I gotta do to make
Mhm.
sure you guys have what you need, make sure you got a roof over your head.
Mhm.
But like Shakira said, as a dad, sometimes you sit back and like, damn, man, like.
Yeah.
Am I doing enough?
Yeah.
Am I spending enough time? Because I'm super dad. You
You
say I'm
are. You
super
have
dad
Yeah.
always been.
and I have to, right? Because I never had it,
Right.
right? So I want to make sure I give it to my kids. But there are times where, like Shakir said, I sit there and I'm be like, man, like, am I balancing this shit out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Am
Am
I
I?
doing a little bit too much here and I need to put a little bit more here?
Yeah.
So that's like the constant struggle for us as
Yes,
parents.
as parents,
You know what I
period.
mean? As
I agree.
parents. So
You know, one thing I did one day with my daughter, it was very candid, right?
Mhm.
I was like, her name's Charlie.
Okay. Oh.
I was like, Charlie, what do you think about daddy?
Mhm.
She's like, what do you mean? I was like, whatever you think. Like, what do you think about dad?
Okay.
And the first thing she said was, well, you're very kind,
Nice.
mhm,
right? And I kind of got a little choked up or whatever.
mhm.
But the whole purpose was to kind of see, like, what do you think about me? Like,
That's
how?
right. How do you view me?
Let me get a performance review from my own kid,
Absolutely.
right?
I like that.
And one thing I also asked her, I was like, is there anything that you want me to do more of? And she was like, no, just whatever.
Yeah.
We're fine. And
For
I'm
now.
Mhm.
I'll ask her again when she's like 12,
Yeah,
you
we're gonna
know.
have
And
this
when she
conversation.
said,
Yeah.
That's what I said. We're gonna have this conversation about 4
Exactly.
years.
yeah, because my
Yeah.
oldest right now, man, I ain't gonna lie, it's a struggle.
Oh
Okay.
She's in the
Oh
teenage
yeah.
phase, man.
Okay.
So it's a range of emotions.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
But then I find myself sometimes I'm catching feelings a little bit, and I have to remind myself like, yo, it's the age
Yeah.
she's in right now. You
Yes.
can't get sensitive because she doesn't want to hang out. You can't be sensitive because she's not showing you the affection
Exactly.
that because in my house when I was growing up, I grew up in a Caribbean household, a
Yes.
single parent mom with mad sisters and aunties around. All I know is hugs and kisses, and
Yeah.
kisses, and
Yeah.
that's how I am in like my friendships, my my relationships, my
Right.
relationship with my children.
Right.
So my oldest at a point now where she's just not about that, right? And I struggle sometimes because I'm like, damn, well, do you just not love me? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
No,
You know?
now
Oh
you wanna
man.
get
Oh
You make
boy, I
you're
got
making me fearful over
listen,
here.
boy.
Oh, be very
I
fearful.
You're making me
I
fearful over
did,
here.
Be
man.
very
And I
fearful.
just, but now, after some talks, we realize like, all right, this is just, the
It's a
phase that she's
phase.
in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you
It's
just
a
gotta like
phase.
take it how you can get it at this
Yeah.
point. You know
Because
what
I mean, here's the thing too. With females, at least, she's trying to figure out all the hormones that she has going on.
Right.
Mm,
It's so
Right.
unfamiliar.
Yeah.
You go from not
for
dealing
sure.
with it to dealing with it.
Right.
As women, grown women, we still try to figure out how to deal with it.
Right.
So now you have a young 14-year-old
hmm
who has no idea how to
Yeah.
process.
And
That's-
shit, it's
that's
my
amazing,
first time
yeah.
being here too. So like, I'm like, I never did this before. You feel me? So
Y'all
it's
looking
like,
at each other
man,
like, what you gonna do?
I
What you
know.
gonna do? I don't know.
She
Yeah.
hit me with that one day too. He was in the car, and I'm like, what you like to listen to? Like,
Yeah.
I put it on the
Yeah,
radio, and she likes to pick her music out. She does
Okay.
pretty good,
Okay.
But one time she was like, well, Dad, you should know. I'm like,
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
right? I should know
Yeah.
what she like to listen to, but that's where that whole balance, like, damn,
Yes.
am I hitting these, these events too hard? Should I scale back? Am I going to these open houses too much? Should I scale
Right.
back?
Right.
So, so it's all a balance in that. But thank God we have them though, right?
Yes,
There you go.
that is true. They
Blessings.
are.
It's
They
because why we
truly
all
are.
got daughters on.
Oh, I have daughters. No boys. No
Yeah.
boys. No boys. Are you
Um,
done? Do you want more children? A little bit more children.
I'm open.
Okay.
Open.
All right.
I'm
You want more
open.
children?
I do.
You
I ain't
do?
gonna lie, I
Okay.
do. But we have reached that point of the show, right?
Okay.
This is what we do at the end of the show.
Okay.
We do takeaway.
Okay.
Takeaways, yes.
So one of the takeaways I got from today's show was something that you said that I thought was profound, right? Was that the difference between us and somebody who's homeless or not making it or doing bad is endurance. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you pray for endurance, and
That's
I
right.
thought that was heavy. So that's one of the takeaways for me.
Yeah.
That I could be one of these guys out on the streets at any given moment.
For sure.
And you got to keep that endurance up to keep going.
Keep
So,
pushing.
appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
My takeaway, absolutely something you said about, you know, your women's group, your events that you host.
Okay.
One of the things I thought, like, men need women and women need men.
We do.
Like, we can learn, like I said, I got a group of friends and we should be organizing the way you're organizing and things like that. Like, we can learn something from you,
Right.
and we can build with you and the ladies that you network with. So
Right.
that's one of my big takeaways. Like, I think a lot on social media, you hear a lot of content that kind of like separates men and women.
Absolutely.
And I think that we need to get to a place where we start bringing us back together,
That's right.
working together, building together. And so that was my takeaway from it.
Definitely bridge the gap.
What about you, Miss Mally?
What was your
about you?
takeaway?
Okay, so the takeaway for me is be present. Be present and be involved.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
that's
I like that.
important.
I like
Absolutely.
Because I was almost not going to be present today. I had a little technical difficulty.
No, when I saw that text message, I was like,
Oh,
my
no, you
God,
don't.
please,
I
no.
know, but
Well,
be present. Like you said, just push through.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Tell
Yes.
our.
So listen, tell the people where they can find you at.
Okay, so you can find me at on Instagram. I am Queen Molly. So it's IMQUEENMALI. You can also find me for the health and wellness spot at www.mvivinfusions.com if you're looking for transportation and logistics needs. Rapid Runs transportation.com.
Nice. I love it.
All right, guys. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
That's a wrap for us. No mistakes. We out.
We out. Peace.
Black, stop playing with it.